Hello, welcome to another Ultra Game Template tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to use the localization system. It is super easy to use and it is super important that you know how to use it right. So first step, if you've been following these tutorials, let me change this to minimalistic and let's set this to Nintendo Switch so we see the text super big, okay, in the default game data asset. But as you can see, there's some text now like third person map _2, or the chapters which are appear with quotations, okay? And why is that happening? Even in other menus, like in the settings, controls, okay, we have quotations here too. Why is this happening? So, okay, this is happening because the localization system of Ultra Game Template actually wants to search for those texts, okay, inside of here, inside of a Google spreadsheet, which is this one, and we will talk about this spreadsheet later, okay? But if you don't want to use the localization system at all and you only want to use the text of your game, you can go here in the default game data asset and you search for localization. And here we have in UGT toggle disable game text localization system. I activate this, and as you will see now, nothing will have quotations and it will be shown as it is, as the text are, okay? This totally disables the localization system, okay? So this is not what this tutorial is about. Only want you to know that you really have that option if you want it. Okay, so if you want to use the localization system, now let's focus on this Google Spreadsheet localization table. You will have a link to this table in the description, okay? And the first thing that you will have to do, because this table will be blocked, is go to File and you will have to make a copy, okay? And then you will be able to start editing your own. So the first thing you need to know is this, sorry, this should not be here. The first thing you need to do is in the first row, which is called language enabled. Here you actually set in what language your game is going to be enabled. So for example, my game is going to be enabled in English and Spanish, but no Japanese, okay? I'm going to click, for example, yes in, for example, Chinese simplified, okay? I'm going to put this here. And to make this language available in the game is actually super easy. We go to File, oops, sorry. We go to File, download .cs, this format, which I don't know how to pronounce in English. And now in Ultra Game Template folder, we're going to search for localization and we're going to go to UGT text localization table. Okay, we're going to reimport with a new file and we're going to reimport with this file. And because now here is a yes instead of a no, my game, now in the settings, we have English, Spanish, and Chinese simplified, but obviously in the table, we don't have any other text localized. So it's a little bit of a letdown, right? So obviously, if you put yes here, please localize the rest of the text of your game. I'm going to put this again to no, okay. And we are going to expand this a little bit more. So we're going to go down to the table, okay, down to the table. And in here, I'm going to say my game localization. And because this is super important, we're going to make this row red, okay? And here you'll have to start gathering the texts that are not localized of your game. So for example, if I go to settings, game, sorry, it should be in English. Okay, and I go to play, here we have some text in quotations. And the text in quotation actually mean that UGT is trying to localize those texts, but they are not actually getting localized. And that's a bit of a shame, right? So what we can do is we need to write down this text in our spreadsheet. So third person map and third person map _2. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to write here third person map And here I'll put third person map, so 2. And then we're going to assign some localization. So in English, this is going to be, I don't know, the city. You can write here whatever you want, really. And here, this is going to be the cave. And in Spanish is la ciudad. And the number 2 is going to be la cueva. Okay, this is fantastic. So now I go to File, Download, and .csv, and that is done. So now, if I go to my table, right click, re-import with a new file, and I select the second one, okay, now I have those texts already localized, the city, the cave, and of course, if I change the language to Spanish, sorry, and play the city and the cave. Of course, the other chapters are not localized, and I should also localize this here. So the only thing you need to do to localize your game is search for every text that has a quotation, and this will gather the text to the UGT to make it localizable, okay? But I want to show you another feature which is very interesting. So we have here third person map 2, and here I'm going to do the third one, and I'm going to do the fourth one, and let's say, I don't know, tunnels. Okay, it's the same in Spanish actually. And third person map 4, let's say here hell. Okay? And I'm going to leave Spanish blank because sometimes you forgot or you don't have that localized in language because you have made an update to the game and the provider of the localization for that language hasn't delivered the text yet. It's something that can happen. It's usual stuff in the game development community. So I'm going to download this again as CSV, and I'm going to re-import this again. And look what it is going to happen. If I keep play and I play, I have the city, la cueva, la ciudad, okay? And then I go to the chapters and I have la ciudad, la cueva, tunnels, and wow! Now I have hell without quotations. Why is that? Because if we go again to the default game data asset, okay, in the localization part of it, we have text defaults and fallback language. And what the localization system is doing is, okay, let me search this text in the Spanish column. I didn't find that. Okay, then at least let me show you that text in the fallback language, which in this case is English. If you don't even find that text in English, then set the quotations. So I, as a game dev, know that this is a text that needs to be localized. Aside from that, okay, make sure that when you package your game, obviously you disable development build, and even if this doesn't search your text in English in development, so let's see the difference. This is what the development build on, okay. And now if I go to controls, I have TP underscore jump gamepad with quotations, okay. But if I say this to, hey, this is not a development build, even if that text is not found, we won't show that with quotations, okay? So that's another thing that you can use. So it has fallbacks. Each one is worse than the previous one, but at least we show something to the player. And okay, this is the localization system, but what about if you want to localize text of your game or your own system with UGT? Well, we will learn that. It's super easy in the next tutorial.